a todos. Hello, everybody. ¿Cómo estás? How are you? We are back once again for another episode of Inglés Británico podcast. And of course, it's always with me, Lewis, and my great co-host, Chris. So, Chris, how are you getting on? How's life?
Yeah, doing really well, thanks. We've had fantastic weather here in Spain. Obviously, I'm in the north of Spain, but my students are dotted all over the country, and everybody is saying the same thing. Blue skies, sunshine, 16, 17, 18 degrees. So, yeah, all around the country, we're having fantastic weather, which means everyone's smiling, everyone's happy, everyone's outside with families and friends. So yeah, it's been a really good weekend, a really good week. Just enjoying the end of winter and the beginning of spring. How about you? How's Belgium? How's the weather over there?
Surprisingly good as well. You see, this time last week, well, last Wednesday, we had the hottest day of the year
Oh
and it
wow.
reached 19 degrees and it was sunny. Then it cooled down quite a lot and was raining a little bit. But this week, looking at the forecast, it's going to be 16 degrees and sunny
Nice.
practically every day. So that puts me in a good mood and it cheers me up. It makes me happy. But the downside is that I'm very busy and I'm sitting right next to my skylight and I can see the blue sky and I'm thinking, oh, I've got a lot of work to do. I can't go outside and make the most of the good weather. So
Like
that's
FOMO, FOMO. Yeah, I think this is obviously a new word in English, and I think in Spanish they say FOMO. I think they use the same as the English acronym, the fear of missing out. I mean, Lewis's example was perfect. The sun is shining, blue skies, but you have to stay in and work, and you're worried, you're scared, you're annoyed that you're missing out on the sunshine. FOMO, fear of missing out. So yeah, I bet that happens quite a lot with anyone who's working on a sunny day. I think, yeah, I get a lot of FOMO when it's sunny outside and I have 4 hours of classes. There's like my friends are maybe out having drinks, and it's FOMO, FOMO.
No, absolutely. There's definitely a fear of missing out. And I'm just looking outside, staring out of the window, thinking, I wish I could go
Yeah.
outside. I wish I could go for a run. I wish I could have a beer in the sun. And just to clarify, I wish is essentially like saying, ojalá. I wish I could go outside. Ojalá pudiera salir fuera. I wish I could sunbathe. Ojalá pudiera tomar el sol. I wish I could have a beer. Ojalá pudiera tomar una cerveza. But hey,
Yeah, I agreed with two of your examples, but I wish I could go for a run was not an example I agree with. But that I wish I could be in the sun and I wish I could be drinking or having a beer. Yeah, those examples I agree with. Yeah,
each to their own,
yeah.
each to their own. We're all different. But let's get started with this conversation. And as always, this is a relatively natural chit chat where we'll be speaking practically all the time in English, but with the odd little translation into Spanish. And for this week's topic, let's say, I have created some English conversation questions, all of which including an idiom, and we'll also read out the Spanish translation at the same time. So hopefully you can sit back, relax, enjoy us talking about random things whilst improving your English and learning new expressions as well.
Yeah, that we haven't prepared. So it's going to be a very natural, organic conversation because honestly, 100% honestly, I've seen these questions before we started recording, and that's it. I saw them for a few seconds. So yeah, it's going to be a very organic, a very natural conversation for you guys.
So hopefully we're able to improvise and come up
Yeah.
with some quick answers. I'm sure we can. I'm
Yeah.
backing us. I'm supporting us. We've got this, Chris. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. No pressure. Yeah.
So, Chris, I'm going to ask you the first question, then you can ask me the second, and so on and so forth. So, in English first, Chris, have you ever had to bite the bullet and do something you were dreading? What happened? In Spanish, ¿alguna vez has tenido que morder la bala? No sé si se puede decir así, pero significa hacer algo que no querías hacer, pero era necesario.
Yeah.
Y si es así, ¿qué pasó? Over to you.
Yes. So I think I've got, as a teacher, I think I've got a fantastic example. Maybe not so much, you and me now as teachers, because we're private teachers with our own students, but working in academies and having to do the end of year or end of term evaluations. Those were horrible. It's when you're working in an academy. I understand they're important, but when you're working in an academy and you have 6 to 10 classes with 6 to 10 students in every class, and then your boss at the academy says you need to do some evaluations, this can take hours, and it's so what's the word I'm looking for? Not
A bit
abstract, but it's
tedious.
tedious, but also kind of it's just a numerical system. So like the student does their homework from 1 to 5. It's like 4, 5. I don't know. Like it's not very. But then on the flip side, on the other hand, if we have to do more detailed evaluations, then it takes even longer. So it might be a better evaluation because these are my actual words, my actual opinion, not just numbers from 1 to 5. But then it takes even longer. I know teachers now, they use ChatGPT because, yeah, they have to bite the bullet. They don't want to do these evaluations, but it's part of their job. They have to do it. So they use ChatGPT. Now, a lot of them, I think obviously now it's a bit different. My students, I can give them evaluations, but because all of my classes are private one-to-one classes, I can just talk to them. I don't need to do an actual evaluation, right? Like in my free time. So I think that's something very common for all teachers, biting the bullet, doing the evaluations. Yeah. But now with ChatGPT, it makes it easier, I suppose.
Way easier. You can save
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
time, energy, but of course, maybe it's less personalized and it's more generic by using artificial intelligence. But hey, there are pros and
Exactly.
cons to everything.
Yeah, I used to do before I ask you your question, I used to do my evaluations during exams. So when the students were in silence for 1 hour doing an exam, I would be there doing my evaluations at the same time. Yeah.
Perfect.
uh, so let's move on to the second one. So, Lewis, when was the last time you felt under the weather but still had to carry on? So, in Spanish, ¿cuándo fue la última vez que te sentiste indispuesto? I've also heard malito or pachucho as
Ah.
well. So, la última vez que te sentiste pachucho o malito o indispuesto, pero aún tuviste que seguir adelante. But when was the last time you felt under the weather but had to carry on?
To be honest, I think this happens quite a lot because, just to explain, if you're under the weather, you're not speaking about being like really, really sick. Usually it's associated with having a cold, you know, being a little bit poorly. So for me, I need to be really sick to book time off work, to cancel classes. Even today, I woke up thinking, oh, I've got a bit of a blocked nose, I've got a bit of a sore throat. So I'm wondering if I'm coming down with something now. I'm wondering if I'm about to get a little bit sick because I feel a little bit under the weather today. I'm not 100% myself.
Yeah.
And I think this happens quite a lot because I'm still okay to work, especially knowing that I work from home. I can get a blanket, and that way
Yeah.
I'm much comfortable. I can have some more coffees as well. So usually I carry on and I kind of bite the bullet and say, I know I'm not feeling great, but I'm not feeling bad enough to have to cancel classes. So I just soldier on,
Yeah.
meaning I keep going and I keep my mouth closed about it. I try not to complain too much, apart from what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
because I am feeling a little bit under the weather today. And it happens every couple of months, I think, when you come down with something, but it's still doable. I can manage it. I can get
Yeah.
by and keep going. So, yeah,
I think
wish
you
me
hit
luck.
the nail. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said working from home. It's a lot easier to carry on working from home when you're under the weather, as you mentioned, a blanket, whatever. But when you have to go outside and face the world when you're feeling under the weather, it's a lot more difficult. Yeah.
I agree. That is the big advantage that we have that, again, you can sleep until a little bit later.
Yeah.
So that way, hopefully, you can recover and get better quicker. And just, I mean, if I wanted to, I could teach classes on the sofa.
Yeah.
So that is a big plus. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm under the weather, but it's nothing too bad. It's nothing major. I'll be all right.
Yeah. Soldier on. I love that phrasal verb. Soldier on.
I will soldier on. All right, cool. Let's move on to the third question then. And this one I'm sure we've mentioned in previous episodes, and it is the expression play it by ear. And if you play it by ear, you are improvising and adapting whilst doing something. So I'll ask you the full question. Chris, do you usually play it by ear when making plans, or do you prefer to organize everything in advance? In Spanish, ¿sueles improvisar cuando haces planes o prefieres organizarlo todo con antelación? What would you say?
I think it depends on the plan. If it's something very, normal, like a weekend plan with friends, then 100% play it by ear. We organize a time. Okay, let's meet at 4. And then the rest is playing it by ear, walking around, finding a bar with a cool atmosphere. And ambiente is not ambience in English. We say atmosphere.
Hmm.
But when it's something serious isn't the word I want to use, a bit more detailed, a bit more important, let's say. For example, a trip when you go traveling to New York. I'm going to New York in May. And obviously, I'm not going to play everything by ear. I am going to plan some touristic events or activities. Obviously, I've already planned my accommodation. I'm planning some day trips to Philadelphia and Boston. So I think when it's a trip specifically, or even just an important plan, like a birthday party or maybe a bachelor party, despedida soltero, I think then more plans are needed because it's probably a bigger group of people, maybe as well with the bachelor parties. So yeah, I think you can still play it by ear because you don't want every single minute planned. So I think some things you can play by ear, but when it's an important trip or event, I do think you need some planned activities and structures because otherwise it's just another great idiom. I don't know if it's on today's question list, but otherwise it's up in the air. Like nobody
Hmm.
really knows what's happening. Yes. Oh, where are we going here? Are we going there? When are we eating? Where are we? So I think, especially with larger groups and parties or important trips, it's better to have some plan, but definitely still play it by ear some of the time. Walk around with no intention and just, oh well, let's go check out this bar. Yeah, let's check out this bar. Just play it by ear. Yeah, I think it's a lot more exciting to play things by ear.
I think you need some kind of balance because, of course, if you're playing everything by ear and you're improvising everything, then you might feel a little bit, I don't know, stressed or
Yeah,
overwhelmed. It's like, is nothing organized? Are we really having to like go with the flow with everything?
yeah,
That can be quite stressful. But at the
yeah,
same, if everything is organized with so much detail and precision, then there's no room for, doing something different or changing your mind. And that feels more like you're at prison. It's like
yeah.
you're in jail because everything is regimented as well. Maybe
Yeah,
like you're.
constantly looking at
Oh,
your watch. Oh, we need to leave because we need to get to the next place. Oh, no, it's fine. Just chill out. Yeah, we'll go to the next place
chill out.
later. Yeah,
Chill out. Awesome. Let's move on to the fourth question. So I've just started sharing my screen again. And Chris, I believe it's your turn to ask me.
Perfect. So I'll do the same as what you did. So the idiom we're specifically talking about in this question is to let the cat out of the bag, which, as you can see in the question, is to accidentally reveal a secret or accidentally ruin a surprise, to let the cat out of the bag. So let me read, Lewis, the whole question. Have you ever let the cat out of the bag and accidentally revealed a secret? En español, ¿alguna vez revelaste un secreto sin querer?
Hmm. I'm thinking and thinking and thinking because I definitely have.
Yeah.
Um, some things, I let them slip. So if I'm speaking to some friends, or maybe it would happen if I'm speaking to some of my fiance's friends, and maybe she has told me a secret before
Yeah.
and said, "Oh, just keep it to yourself, though, don't say anything to anyone else." And then I'll maybe forget that.
Yeah.
And maybe when I'm meeting up with her friends, I'll say, by the way, what happened in the end with blah, blah, blah? And at that moment, my fiance might look at me and be like, Lois, shh, shh.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not supposed
The
to
me
say anything.
the
Keep your
mental
mouth shut.
conversation. Yeah, no words are spoken, but the way she looks at you and just like telepathically, "Shut up, Lewis. Shut up, Lewis. Shut up, Lewis." Yeah.
That's definitely happened before. I don't remember exactly what I said, but there have been times when I've let the cat out of the bag, and then my fiance will have looked at me and stared at me again,
Yeah.
being like, Lewis, stop,
Stop,
stop.
stop. Yeah.
And then I realize, I've put my foot in it, which is a lovely phrase in Spanish. It's like, he metido la pata. So in English, you would say, I put my foot in it, meaning I made a mistake. I messed up. I screwed up by saying something that I shouldn't have said. I let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, I mean, I've done this many times, but I mean, when we talk about films or series, we obviously wouldn't really use this idiom. We would just say spoilers. So even though it's a similar context, it's not the same idiom. But yeah, I always accidentally give spoilers. Yeah. So that's something for our listeners. If it's specifically films and series, I wouldn't say I let the cat out of the bag. I'd say a spoiler. But yeah, plans, secrets, surprise parties to let the cat out of the bag.
It happens. I feel
Yeah,
guilty, but what am I going to do? I'm not perfect.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
These
as the
things,
definition says, is accidentally reveal a secret. So yeah, it's not your fault. Well, a little bit your fault, but
it
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
totally my fault.
No,
But
just
yeah,
a
I
little bit.
put
Yeah.
my foot in it. Perfect. All right, let's keep going. Question number 5. And the expression is money makes the world go round, which I believe is when you say that money is, well, the most important thing. It makes things happen. So let me just read the question and then the translation. Chris, do you think that money makes the world go round, or is it just a saying? In Spanish, ¿crees que el dinero mueve el mundo o es solo un dicho? What are your thoughts?
So I think yes. However, I think it's not necessarily money. It's more about power. But obviously, another great idiom, they go hand in hand. They always, not always, but they normally go together. They go hand in hand. So yeah, I completely agree with this. I mean, just look at what's happening in the world right now. Everything is money related. What's happening in the United States. Again, we're not going to give our opinions because it's not that type of podcast. But, I think it is all economy related. It's all about let's make America great again and increase the economy. Again, I don't want to go into the specifics because that's not this type of podcast. But yeah, then you look in England, capitalism, you look at Spain, everyone is more money, better job, promotions. And yeah, there's obviously a very similar idiom, which is money can't buy happiness. absolutely false. Yeah, money is the driving force. Yeah, money makes the world go round. It's what everybody does. Everybody works to get money to feed their families or to buy clothes or houses or trips and whatever. So yeah, I think everyone says family is more important, but you can't have a family if you're not financially stable. That's like the number one rule is before you have kids, make sure you can afford it. So yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with the sentiment, but I do agree with the fact that it's truth. I don't agree with. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I do 100% agree that yeah, money is the driving force behind everything. Money makes the world go round.
Mhm. No,
I
no,
mean, look us
perfect.
right now doing a podcast. I mean, obviously, we love chatting in English. We like helping students. But, let's be 100% honest. We're doing this with the hopes of maybe getting monetized one day. Like, we do enjoy helping our students. That is true. But, our students are not idiots. This is our job. We want to make money from teaching English. So even then, there is a slight argument for even we are just chasing money at the end of the day.
I mean, it is what it is. I agree.
Yeah.
Money does make the world go round, and I don't see that that's going to change at any point in the near future. I think
No,
that is
yeah.
the global system. And of course, countries do it, but individuals, as you said, we're always looking to make more money to then be able to have more free time and have a more comfortable life and a higher quality of life. So that's what everybody is aiming for. And the thing that joins us all is money. That's how you achieve it.
Yeah, exactly. There are very few free things to do in today's world. Yeah, go to the park, or is about it, I think. But
That's
anyway,
it.
let's move on to the next one. So, my turn to read the question. So, we'll start with the idiom, which is to go the extra mile. This just means to do more than what was expected. Hacer un esfuerzo extra. Your boss gives you A, B, and C, and you do A, B, C, D, and E. Oh, wow, you did D and E as well. You went
Mhm.
the extra mile to go the extra mile. So, Lewis, when was the last time you went the extra mile for someone? ¿Cuándo fue la última vez que hiciste un esfuerzo extra por alguien?
This one's quite a difficult thing to ask, and maybe, well, a difficult thing to answer. And it's making me think that perhaps I'm a very selfish person. Uh, because I'm thinking about all these times that I've gone the extra mile in my own job and creating more content, being more available for my students, doing all these things. And I go the extra mile at work for my own personal gain every day almost. But
Yeah.
thinking about for other people, going the extra mile or going above and beyond for other people, it's difficult. An example that I can think of is like a year ago when I was helping my friends move house and I was carrying lots of boxes, TVs, furniture. And this was a lot of work and it was just a favor. We were just
Yeah.
giving them a hand. We were doing them a favor. They weren't paying us to help them move house.
Not even
So I
pizza and beers?
Funny you say that actually, because while they didn't kind of convince us to help them move house by offering pizza and beers, we did later have pizza and beers.
That's the standard. Yeah, it's like the standard friendship payment. If you help me move, I give you pizza and beer. It's like the standard unwritten rule, which is like nobody, it's not written everywhere. Sorry, it's not written anywhere, but everybody knows this rule exists. Yeah.
It did happen, to be fair. But no, that is, I think, the last time that I went the extra mile for someone, which was
Yeah.
helping a friend move house. But this was like quite a long time ago now. So maybe I'm very selfish, or I'm a bad friend, or maybe I don't have friends.
Yeah. Well, no, but I think you're right. At work, in any kind of work context, I think everybody goes the extra mile selfishly. Nobody goes
Mhm.
the extra mile at their job because they want to help the company. They're doing it because they want their boss to notice them. They want a promotion. They want a pay rise or something like that. So I don't think it's wrong to say that it's, yeah, you specifically are selfishly going the extra mile. I think in a work context, everybody selfishly goes the extra mile. Yeah.
No, no, for sure. We are very cynical people, aren't we, Chris?
Yeah. Yeah. But no, that was a lovely example of how you went the extra mile for someone else. That was a lovely, I mean, it was a year ago, so maybe do something again soon. But yeah,
I probably should.
yeah, yeah. Once a year, and then Santa puts you on the good list and you get your Christmas presents.
Exactly. I get presents and I don't get this big bag of coal because I've
Yeah.
been a good boy. All
You
right,
went the
let's
extra mile once every year. Yeah.
once a year, that's plenty.
Yeah.
Now let's finish off with one last question because we're running out of time. So, Chris, I'm going to ask you number 7, which is, have you ever been caught red-handed doing something you shouldn't have been doing? And the expression is to catch someone red-handed, which in Spanish, the question would be, ¿Alguna vez te han pillado con las manos en la masa?
So
Hit us, Chris.
I got a really good anecdote for this. So when I was at school, I don't know, maybe 15 years old, me and my friends were on break and we were smoking in the school ground, like not in the school building, but in the outside area, the playing fields where it was break time. So we were being very careful, blowing it down the jumper, and we thought we got away with it, which is the opposite of to get caught red-handed, is to get away with something, to escape punishment, to not be caught. So we thought we got away with it, but then a teacher comes down and was like, right, all of you, blah, 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 swearing. We're like, what are you talking about? We haven't been smoking. And then he was actually a photography teacher and he showed us photos of us smoking, like
Oh,
caught
wow.
red-handed. Like literally, there was a because it was a very nice camera with a really good zoom. He'd been standing in the school building just taking photos, and these photos were like professional quality photos. Like there was no doubt we were caught red-handed, literally with the cigarettes in our mouths like that. I mean, obviously, now as adults, was he really allowed to be taking photos of children? Maybe not. Like the today's world is a very different world to when we were at school. But yeah, he didn't get in trouble for taking photos of children, but we did get in trouble for smoking because yeah, we thought we got away with it. But actually, we were caught red handed. Photos with us literally in the action of smoking, caught red-handed. Yeah, so that was a funny day at school. Yeah,
I mean, I bet you must have been like, "Oh, no. How did this happen? What a nightmare."
we were being so like what's the word? So discreet, very
Uh-huh.
discreet. Just like really clever. But no, you had photos of literally like that.
Exactly. You thought you were being so clever, so intelligent, but hey, you got
No, yeah,
caught red-handed. You
caught
didn't get
red-handed.
away with it. Awesome.
Exactly.
Cool. So now, just to finish, a little recap of these expressions that we've reviewed. So the first one was bite the bullet, which is to do something that you didn't want to do, but you had to. It was necessary. The next expression was under the weather, which is to be a little bit sick. Nothing major, but a little bit sick. The third idiom was play it by ear, which is like to adapt and improvise in the moment. The fourth one was let the cat out of the bag, which is to accidentally reveal a secret. The fifth is this saying, which is money makes the world go round. It's all about money. Then we have two more. Number 6 was go the extra mile. which is to make an extra unnecessary effort for someone or something. And lastly, as Chris was just explaining, if you get caught red handed, you are caught in the moment of doing something you shouldn't be doing. So, yeah, solid. Chris, thank you for telling us these stories. And thank you, everybody, for listening and watching, whether that's on YouTube or Spotify. But please leave a comment if you have any suggestions for topics we should discuss next time. And as always, please follow for more and leave a like. So, thanks, everybody. Thanks, Chris. And we'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time.
Thank you. Bye bye.